I almost forgot. Okay. I recorded. Okay. So I'm going to repeat what I just said. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Talk. This training is called Let Love Be Your Drive. And truly, love is the most powerful force on this planet. It is the most powerful force on this planet. You've probably heard of stories of people that have been so sick, unconscious, but they could feel the love of their family. They could squeeze the hand of the person that they loved. Beyond, their mental capacity or their physical capacity, they could feel that force of love. And in scripture, it even says that of faith, hope, and love is the greatest. Love is the absolutely greatest. I'm going to repeat what I just said because I forgot to record, but I got to hear Mark Cole. He is the CEO of John Maxwell's 6 companies. And he says that every person wants to know the answer to 3 questions. Do you authentically love me? Can you help me? And can I trust you? And these are questions that every person that's looking at you for Plexus wants to know. Do you authentically love me? Do you care about me? Like, is this just about you getting a goal, or do you actually give a crap about me? Do you care about me? Can you help me with my problem? I am coming to you because I have a problem. I don't know if you realize that. Like, Plexus is a problem-solving business. People generally don't just come to Plexus because they're good. They come to Plexus wanting a solution to something. And lastly, can I trust you? And we've heard this many times, but people generally don't come to Plexus because they have heard so much about Plexus. Maybe they have, but they purchased Plexus from you because they trusted you. So let's talk about let love be your drive and what that looks like in every area of your life. So I'm just going to talk about everyday life outside of Plexus, just living your life. I want to challenge you to look for opportunities to be a blessing to people. Seek to be a blessing, like purpose to be a blessing. And I get it. Life is a bit weird right now. I mean, depending on what state you're in, life is intense for us. It's like, are we opening? Are kids going back to school? Are they not going back to school? They're distance learning, they're homeschooling. I'm working from home, I'm not working from home. People are losing their jobs. In our area, I don't know the number, somebody probably knows, so many like Disney employees got laid off. I mean, it was like, I think like 58,000, like tons of people are in this weird time capsule of stress, including us, right? So it's easy to just get caught up in like your to-do list. I'm so guilty of this. Okay, get my girls to dance. I go to dance. When I go to dance, I'm going to have a minute to myself. Right? Instead of like intentionally looking for an opportunity to be a blessing to someone. And that could be anything. That could be getting the dance teacher Starbucks. It could be having your kids make a card for the dance teacher. It could be smiling at the receptionist. It could be, something as simple as like knowing someone's name. I'm guilty of this too. But you think of someone at the grocery store, maybe you see the same cashier over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Do you know their name? The sweetest word a person will ever hear is their name. It's because they know they're seen, that you actually see them as a human, as a person. And so I want to challenge you in your everyday life, proactively seek opportunities to be a blessing to people. Even, when you are on social media, it's a little different, but commenting on people's things, that blesses someone. This is so silly, but when people are like, oh my gosh, your daughter's so cute, that blesses me. That's silly. And I know my daughter's cute and I think my daughter's cute, but it blesses me when someone says that. And people in this time and space put a lot on social media. We put a lot on social media. People will put like major trauma that has happened. Just this morning, someone from high school posted that her boyfriend passed away suddenly. And I wasn't that close to her. I just knew her. But taking the time to reach out to them is everything. And I'll even say this, I want to challenge you to take it a step further. If you wouldn't normally comment. If you would comment, personally message them. Because I promise you, in that, stream of comments they're getting, I'm so sorry for your loss, I'm so sorry for your loss, I'm so sorry for your loss, chances are there aren't many people that will personally message them. And of those people that will personally message them, chances are not many people will send a voice message and pray for them, or a voice message just to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. You're going to be on my mind every single day this week. I might send you a message. You don't have to reply, but I just want you to know you're on my heart. How many people will do that? And I tell you, people will remember if you cared about them in a time of crisis. I know when I've been in times of crisis, I can think of hundreds of people that I've helped and the handful of people that reached out to me, even if they weren't the closest people to me. So I want to challenge you, just in everyday life, just be in that practice of seeking to bless, seeking to love, seeking to be a light, be a giver. Now, I'm going to kind of transition a little bit, but it kind of goes in the same stream of things, but posting on social media. We have a million reasons why we might not want to post on social media, or why we want to stop posting on social media, or we don't want to post as much on social media, or whatever. And most of the time, if we're honest, it's a self-centered reason. Either it's fear or pride. And let me just explain what that looks like. So fear of looking spammy, fear of being unfriended, fear of what people are going to think of me, right? Or pride, like I don't want to like say that I'm all about Plexus. Like I don't want people to think like I'm all about this Plexus thing, or like I don't really know what I'm doing yet. I don't know what I'm going to say if someone asks me questions. I don't have all the answers yet. Or I don't know. I want to do my own thing too. And I just want to challenge you that that's probably all self-centered, right? It's all thinking about yourself. And I want to encourage you to let love be your drive to get over that. Because I promise you, this is 100% guaranteed, that people on your social media there are people tonight that will go to bed crying themselves to sleep. That's 100% guarantee. That is happening tonight. There are people that will cry themselves to sleep tonight because they don't know how they're going to pay for their bills. And that water is going to get shut off. There are people that don't want to park their car in their driveway because that repo man's going to take their car. I've been there a couple times. Just saying, I can relate. It sucks. There are people that really, 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 really want to put their kids in sports this season, but they just don't have the money they need to get their kids what they need. There are parents that have been called to the principal's office so many times, and they are stressed out because their child can't focus in class, and then that causes disruption, and the teacher doesn't know what to do. There's someone that went to the doctor this week and they got a diagnosis that completely blindsided them, and they do not know what to do, and they're thinking worst case scenario and how it's going to affect them and how it's going to affect their family. And I want you to know that you have the answer for many of these people. You have the answer for many of them. I'm not saying we're going to solve everyone's problem, but we can solve a lot. We can solve a lot of them. We can help many people. I mean, has Plexus helped you? Think about your life. I mean, put it in the comments. Let's take a second and just be thankful for how Plexus has helped you. I'll say I went to bed crying myself to sleep because we didn't know how we were going to make ends meet. Many times. And God brought Plexus to our life as a vehicle to help us. Maybe you got a diagnosis. I remember when I got diagnosed with osteoarthritis, and I thought, like, what does that even mean? I'm in pain all the time. I have a diagnosis now. What does that even mean? And I know that many of you guys have been impacted so tremendously. And I just want to challenge you, when you go to post on Facebook, think like, who can I give hope to? That's what we do, right? When we post, it's not just post and leave it. Like, we're praying for the intention of giving someone hope, giving something better to someone. Crystal says, depression ruled my life before Plexus. I mean, think of how many people are depressed on our social media. And what if Plexus was that missing piece that they needed? Pain. How many people are in chronic physical pain that if they saw a post from you, maybe that's what they needed. You know, and I'll say this, don't assume that because of what people post that they're happy and healthy and things are great. Don't assume that they're content and feeling great, because maybe they don't put it all out there on social media, but there are a lot of silent sufferers. I know a lot of you guys that are on this call, we're silently suffering. And I'll say this, you know, even as a teacher, I loved teaching in the classroom. I loved being a special ed teacher. I mean, I posted about it all the time, the sweet things that my kids would say. I had just gotten my master's degree. I mean, I love being one in the face-to-face with students. But not everybody knew that I wasn't making ends meet and that I had $100,000 in student loan debt. And I was not happy with that. And I knew that if I had babies, I wanted to be home with that. And that was not an option for us. So I just want to challenge you to really have the mindset when you're posting, when you're sharing, that you don't know what's on the other side of what someone's really going through. And at the end of the day, it's all about your heart, and less about facts. We have people out there, probably some of you that are listening, that are definitely fact-driven, ingredient-driven, all of those things. But most people, it's the story, it's the heart connection that's going to bring them to Plexus. So that's kind of just like, you know, talking about posting and your potentials and things like that. The next part, I kind of want to talk about messaging people. So you may or may not have ever just messaged someone randomly about Plexus. You may or may not have done that before. I want to challenge you, if you have people that have been on your heart, they're probably on your heart for a reason, to really think about how you would approach them. So I'll just share something and my approach. If I have someone on my heart that maybe I think, gosh, that would be so good at this business, I watch what they're sharing, and she's talking about how she doesn't want to go back to work after she has this baby, I'm just going to message her. And so I would probably send her a message, a voice message, so she can hear my voice. Because obviously if I were to type out this whole training for you, it would sound really differently than you guys all hearing my voice, even seeing my face. But I would send her a voice message and just say, you know, hey, Sarah, you have been on my mind so much lately. I've been watching all your posts. I can't believe you're going to have a baby soon. I just remember what it was like, you know, being pregnant and anticipating my baby. And I've also seen your posts about, you know, not wanting to go to work. And you've been on my heart so much. I just wonder if you've ever considered what I do, because I watch the way that you engage with people on social media. I watch how people respect you. And I really think that you could be so good at this. Would you be open to just at least looking at this as an option? Could I send you something to look at? So you see that message is all about that person. It's all about their needs, what they're good at, what they're going through, and less about me trying to recruit them. Even though I want to recruit them, my heart is for them and goodness for them. Okay, I'm gonna shift to when people message you or when people are asking for information about Plexus. You know, I think it's so important to ask questions. We've had lots of good training in the last few months. I feel like our systems are down. So I think you probably have seen great, you know, verbiage on this. but it just as a refresher, it's so important to know what their goals are, what they want from this. You know, what are their health issues? What do they want? Because I think triplex is for everyone. I want everyone to take triplex. I think everybody needs triplex. I think triplex is the best combo for everybody. But to be really real, people that want faster weight loss might need a different combo. And I feel like we've done a great job, if you've been around, and we've had great verbiage, great three-way chats on this. But I'll say before, I was kind of like, I'd only push triplex because that's what I believed in. That's what I knew was good for them. But I wasn't always listening to what they wanted and needed. And so it's so important for us to ask questions and know what they want and then help them get to their goals. And then lastly, in follow-up, you guys have probably heard this many times, but 80% of sales happen after the 5th follow-up, from the 5th and the 12th follow-up. So a lot of people will tell me, you know, I don't want to bug them. I've messaged them so many times. And so sometimes I'll say, okay, how many times have you messaged them? Well, I've messaged them a bunch of times. I'll say, okay, yeah, send me screenshots so I can see. And sometimes I want to see the screenshots so I can see how they're approaching it, so I can kind of give them some, you know, a little bit of verbiage. Or sometimes I'm like, girlfriend, you messaged them twice. That's not a bunch. The statistics say 80% happens. The magic happens between the 5th and the 12th. And so, and I'll be honest, sometimes people fall through the cracks and I don't get to the 12th. And that's on me because that person had a goal. That person was interested, but I didn't do my job. I didn't do what I needed to do to get all the way to 12 with them. Or maybe it even takes more for some people. Shoot, I've been doing this for almost 7 years. And I have people that have watched me for 7 stinking years that are still, you know, joining me now. You know, and even in follow-up, I want you to always have that in the back of your mind, that you're leading with love and care for that person, instead of like, I don't want to erase like running for a goal. Obviously, I'm goal driven. Obviously, I want us to rank up. Obviously, I want us to earn all the things. Of course, I want to earn all the things that we can earn this month. Of course, this is not to negate that. But I am saying that your posture is different when you're like, I got to get one more, I got to get one more, I got to get one more, I got to get one more. And it's only about you. But you can still think like, I got to get one more, and this person had a goal and I can help them. I got to get one more, and this person's really hurting and I can help them. I got to get one more, and I know they really want the products. Let me see how I can figure out a way for them to get it. It's different. Your posture is different. Your tone is different. Your approach is different. And at the end of the day, you know, switch your mindset, get over your fear, get over your pride, and let love drive you. And realize that life is really busy. It's busy for us, right? Like, we acknowledge that life is really busy for us. Guess what? It's really busy for other people too. And plexus is not at the front of their mind like it is for us. For me, I think about plexus every single day, all day for the last 7 years. Other people, it's not like in their headspace like it is for us. And I was busy before I had babies. Shoot, when I had babies, I really, really could relate to people not getting back to me, because I'd type a message and then someone would scream, and then 3 weeks would go by and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even press send. Or I opened the message and I'm driving and then I didn't get a chance to respond. And then a month goes by and I'm like, wow, that person was ready to order and I didn't even connect the dots. And so, I mean, just giving people grace, knowing that, you know, that life is busy, and to be really honest, not to be dramatic, this is life or death for some people. You know, I mean, and again, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but when you have someone who has blood sugar instability, that affects everything in their life. That affects their life, that affects their health. When someone is suffering with a health issue that can be helped with decreasing their inflammation or getting their gut healthy, This is everything. I mean, how many of you mamas are on here came to Plexus because you didn't have the energy to play with your kids, because you needed a nap every day? And that's life for children, right? If we have the energy to play with them, if we have the energy to look them in their eyeballs and not be falling asleep while they're talking, right? That is everything. I mean, it is someone going from working 80 hours a week to 40 hours a week, or maybe 40 hours a week to 20 hours. That is life. And so I'm kind of being so redundant so that it gets in your like gut that we've got to let that be our drive when we get bogged down by the tasks, because I know we do have a lot of tasks. I am in my virtual office every day. I am looking at reports. I am messaging people. I'm doing those tasks. But if I take away the heart, then I mean, we could just put Plexus in a vending machine then, right? And that's not what this is about. It's the heart connection. And then I just want to touch on this for a sec. When someone's been your potential and you've been talking to them and they tell you no, I want to challenge you that that's where you really make sure you kick up that relationship. You know, you make sure you're commenting on this stuff. You make sure that you're continuing to talk to them about nothing to do about Plexus, because that's what gives network marketing people a bad rep, right? They're hounding people, and then they drop them. And so maintain that relationship, because they'll know who to go to when they are ready, because it just might not be their time right now. It might be their time in 6 months or a year from now, right? Or they'll refer people to you. Maybe they're like, it's just not for me, but I know somebody that just got diagnosed with diabetes. And I know a girl, she's really nice. She's not going to pressure you. Her name's Janelle, and here's her contact. I remember 1 month, you guys, I had 4 ambassadors sign up that were total referrals. I didn't even know them, from several people. And these were people that I had just loved, taken care of. You know, maybe they tried Plexus for a season and stopped. 4 people that I would have never had contact with, but because I loved their friend well, their friend told me about them or referred me to them. Okay, I'm gonna pivot a little bit more and talk about, okay, pause for a sec. Are you guys getting something out of this? Is this encouraging? Is this helpful? I'm seeing some head nods of some people that have their cameras on. Pop in the chat if this is beneficial, a good reminder. Okay, I'm so needy, you guys. It's the 2 in me. I need to be affirmed. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna pivot a little bit and talk about when someone's your customer and ambassador, right? So let's talk about when people actually take the chance, they take a risk, they decide, I'm gonna try Plexus. I wanna remind you that when someone tries Plexus, they had to overcome something to say yes. Maybe they have never invested in their health financially the way that they are with Plexus. That's a big deal. That's a big commitment for some people. And they decided to do that with you. Maybe they got in a fight with their spouse over Plexus and they pushed through and overcame that, and they trusted you. Maybe they had to be really vulnerable and say, look, I've tried everything under the sun. I'm really embarrassed that I'm this overweight, or I'm this unhealthy, or I'm this fill in the blank, but I'm gonna give it a shot with you. I want you to go back to that space when you first tried Plexus and that vulnerability, that fear. When someone comes to you and trusts you with Plexus, it's an honor. And we should always be grateful and always take it as an honor that they trusted us. And so it is our job to make sure they have the best experience possible. We can't control everything, right? We can't control detox. We can't control if they drink their water. We can't control if they eat McDonald's every day. We can't control if shipping takes a little bit longer than usual. We can't control a lot of things, but there is stuff we have in our control. And so, you know, we can send them how to take their products. Make sure they're actually taking, I mean, we can't put the products in their mouth, but we can ask them, hey, have you started your products? And then ask them again, are you in a good routine with your products? Are you still in a good routine with your products? When are you taking your products? To make sure that they're actually consuming what they're buying, right? We can follow up and troubleshoot with them. I love the training that Melissa did last Sunday. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, I definitely encourage you to take the time. It's about an hour. Let me give you the Cliff Notes version right now if you haven't had a chance to watch it. Here's the deal. When someone signs up as a customer and ambassador, you're going to write their name on every single Friday for that first month. So that every Friday in your calendar, right in your calendar, you're going to write their name down so you can follow up with them. And there is actually verbiage in the units of your team page. So if you're on my team, it's on our team. I know Team Eichenhorst has it. It's using our wellness community. It's like step number 1. So you're going to follow up with them every single Friday for their first month, and then right around the next month and the next month when their auto shipment's going to go out. If you struggle with like a calendar, I mean, we have several. I have a paper calendar. I have a calendar on my phone. I've also used, if you're someone that wants it automated, it's called followupthen.com. Followupthen.com. And it's just an email service, and you literally email yourself, and you can say 4 weeks from now, every Friday, and you can email yourself, and it will come in your email, and it'll say, today you need to follow up with someone, you know, today you need to follow up with Amanda. Today you need to follow up with so-and-so about their auto shipment. Today you need to check in and make sure so-and-so's on a good regimen. Followupthen.com. So you need to be following up with them. And then we have a brand new wellness community. If you haven't been paying attention the last week, this has been the most pressing thing that you could probably do for your customers and ambassadors this weekend is get them in the wellness community. Again, in the units on your team page, so I know Team Eichenhorst has a unit on it. I know my team page has a unit. There are probably other leaders that have units on this, but using that page, there's literally verbiage to invite them to the page. You want to get them in this wellness community because we are going to celebrate them. Celebrate when they hit 30 days on the products, 60 days on the products, 90 days on the products. We'll have fun challenges. It'll be a place to really get some, you know, more care, customer care. And so if you haven't done that, set aside the time, whether it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, today, tomorrow, you know, whatever your weekend looks like, set aside the time and get your customers and ambassadors in that page. That will help so much. And let me just say this, that probably throwing them on that page won't solve all the problems, right? Probably that won't. It might for some people, because some people are just more driven that way. Some people will click around and they'll do things on their own, but probably it's going to be more beneficial if you're on the page and you tag them on the post where they could win the prize. If you're on the page and when you see them comment something, you comment back, you know, that's probably going to be most beneficial because you're their person. You're the person that brought them to Plexus. You mean more to them than a random other girl. You know, random other girl is going to give you validation, but you're the person that's most important to them. Okay, I also want to say for your ambassadors, so your ambassadors also need to be on the wellness page, but don't you dare skip out on putting them on the big team page, because you are not doing them any favors by excluding them from the big team page. Melissa said it, that she would not be a diamond if she was not thrown on a team page. I would not be a sapphire if I was not thrown on a team page. I had zero vision for the business, zero. I stumbled on a training just because I was playing around on Facebook, and that training set the course for the last 6.5 years. And that's only because my sponsor put me on this team page. So make sure you're putting all your ambassadors on that team page, know their goals, and check in on them, you know, give them training, you know, make sure that they know about the product overview that we have twice a week. Hello, we have that twice a week. That's such a valuable training. I put that on my team page every single time. I have a reminder, but you know what? It's not going to be as meaningful as if their sponsor personally messages them and says, hey, I don't know if you know, but you can get access to like over 20 products at wholesale. You might want to check this out, and you personally invite them. I love, if you've been around Plexus, Tarl always says this. Charles, our CEO, he says, we wanted to create a company the way that it could be done, the way that it should be done, but rarely ever is. And he's also said, you know, I want people to look at Plexus and say, they do it right. And I know that he said that about the corporate team, but also us as ambassadors, that we really love people and take care of people well. A couple last things about your customers and ambassadors, a couple other things that you could do to love them. Tell them about incentives, even if they're not, you know, if they're just wholesalers, just like, hey, I know that you don't want to do the business. I just want to let you know that you can get an extra $25. It'd be like $60 if you had any friends that wanted to join this month. You don't know what happened in their life this month when they told, you know, that you don't know what's going on in their life, that could really bless them. I always, at the end of the month, I'm looking at my reports, you know, who's close to 100 PV, who's close to 500 PV, because I know that that's going to get them some money or more money. And you know what else I do? I look every month to see whose annual renewal is coming up. And I'll message people if they have not ordered for a long time. I'll message them and just say, hey, your annual renewal is coming up. It's $39.95. You know, I know you haven't been taking Plexus for the last 9 months. So my guess is that you probably want to cancel that. Do you want to cancel your membership? And then if they say yes or no, I'll send them the form so they can fill out that cancellation. Or I'll say, well, I'll also say, or since it's coming up, maybe it's a good time to revisit and think if you want to restart your Plexus products. That way it avoids the message of someone saying, I just got charged $40 for Plexus. What's this all about? And again, it's less about me. It's more about them, making sure my friend is taken care of. And I'll just say this about relationships and community. It's so important to continue to build relationships outside of the people that you bring into your team. Your level 2s, your level 3s, your sidelines. I mean, I could name tons of people that I know are still in Plexus primarily because of the community. They love the products. They kind of want to do the business, sort of, maybe, but they love this community, and they'll go to every convention and they'll show up to every team call because they need community and they feel seen. They feel heard here. And what a gift, right? What a beautiful gift to give someone, the gift of belonging. Like, isn't that what we all desire and what we all want? And so I want to challenge you to make sure that you're providing that for people. And it's not maybe just your downline, it could be your sidelines as well. I have one more area that I want to talk about. I'm coming to my landing here, but so I've talked about just letting love drive you, right? Letting love drive you in your everyday life, letting love drive you when you're sharing on social media, letting love drive you when you're messaging people, letting love drive you when you're reaching out to customers or ambassadors. And can I tell you, sometimes when I reach out to people, I'm bearing for the punch. I'm like, I know this person's going to be crotchety. I know they're going to be grumpy. I know that it's coming, but I'm going to hold my head up high and I'm going to be a woman of integrity, and I'm going to reach out and love on them and love the gushiness, all the gushiness I can, even though I know that they are probably not going to respond in a way that melts my heart, you know, and just have that emotional maturity. Like, this is the type of woman that I am, that I'm going to love even when you are nasty to me, even when you are rude to me, I am going to love on you. Okay. Last thing. I want you to let love be your drive when it comes to you and your family and your Plexus business. I want you to love your family and you enough that you will do this thing and that you'll be consistent so that you and everyone in your family that should be on the products can afford to take all of the products without a blink, right? We have a family of 6. That's a lot of products that we go through in our house, and beyond the products, what could this business mean for your family? What could that mean? It's funny because my girls have really primarily just known me doing Plexus. I've had like gigs here, I've worked for the university where I leave, or, I've had other like teaching gigs here, but primarily have not seen me work a 40-hour week. My daughter's, 5.5. She doesn't understand that's not life for a lot of people. And so I tell her, like, I chose Plexus. I chose to do this because I wanted to be able to cuddle you when you asked me for cuddles. I wanted to be with you every day. And so what could this mean for your family? Maybe this is less time at work. Maybe it's piano lessons, or, maybe it's moving out of a rough neighborhood into a little bit safer neighborhood. Maybe it's taking your family on missions trips. I know there's a number of you guys that have taken your family on missions trips, and maybe, the finances provides that, or the flexibility provides that, right? I'll be real at Sapphire. We're good in a lot of ways. Financially, we're not struggling to buy groceries, but what I'm struggling with? Those $150,000 student loans that we have. That sucks. So I'm being really real. That's what drives me, is for that day when I can say, we do not owe Sallie Mae or Navient or any other stinking Greater Lakes, blah, 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 student loans. That is what drives me when I'm like, oh, we're good. Like, our paycheck's going to be good. Remodeling our house. I mean, so many things. I could go on and on. What could this mean for your family? Would that be enough to give up an hour of TV at night? Or 30 minutes of sleep in the morning? And make it about others. Make it about your family dreams and visions, not just you. And with that, this is kind of almost seems counterintuitive, like contradictory, but it's not. Let's talk about you. Are you worth it? Are you worth it to fight for your business? Are you worth it to work this business? Because you know what? Your heart and your dreams and what is in the inside of you matters. God put that there. And he put that there on purpose. And he put that there because he wants to bless you. But the coolest thing is that when you have a dream and a vision, it's never, ever, 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 ever only about you. Ever. It's never only about you being super rich and having everything you want and need. Like, it's always about what you can do for others. And God puts these crazy, insane, God-sized, impossible dreams there for a reason. And if you're not willing to dig in and do it, he'll find someone else. And maybe you don't want to be a Plexus Jewel. You don't have to want to be a Plexus Jewel. Can I be real? My purpose in life is not to be a diamond. That is not my purpose in life. But it is the vehicle that will allow me to do what God has called me to do. It provides the flexibility. It provides the finances. It gives me influence. My purpose and end goal is not diamond. That is just the plane I'm writing to allow me to do what God has asked me to do. And so I just want to challenge you, is that enough? Like, does that drive you? Does that purpose drive you? And I mean, I guess I'll kind of wrap up with this, is that, at the end of the day, all we're going to take to heaven is relationships. We're not taking nothing. I want that shopping spree so bad. If you guys know me, this is so dumb, but this is a little dream I've had. I've always wanted to buy a Louis Vuitton with a shopping spree because I felt like I couldn't justify buying it, but I'll do it with a shopping spree. And you better believe I'm getting Louis Vuitton with my Leaders Retreat shopping spree. But that is not going with me in my casket. It's not going with me to heaven. It's not going to get me any special cred in heaven. I'm not going to be able to collect this on the streets of gold in my Louis Vuitton. No one will care because it will not matter. But the only thing that matters is relationships. The only thing that matters is how we've loved people and loved people to life. And so I love that in this business, it's all about helping others. It's all about helping others with the two things that are the most stressful for people, health and finances. And we get to be part of that. And so I'm going to close with this. Thank you guys for all the comments. I appreciate it. I'm so needy. Thank you for all the positive affirmation. I appreciate it. But I'm going to let just close in this. As you are working your business this week, all the tasks you need to do, let love be your drive, whether it's loving someone else, loving your family, loving yourself. And I'll close with this from Proverbs 2:3. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. So with that, let love be your drive this week. Love you all. Bye.